Hello. Are we live? Can you all hear me? Did I get yes, I got everybody unmuted. Whoa! Hey everybody. Welcome to the premiere of Politics and Plagues, a short shot that I have written in Serzamin, and we are actually going to be playing it not in my usual D&D 5e, but in Dungeon World, which is a rad system that I'm excited to try. But before we start that off and figure out what the hell we're playing in the game, I'd like to very quickly thank our sponsors. So, a huge thank you to Roll20, Tabletop Loot, Sonordware, and Devin Rue for sponsoring and supporting the channel. Type exclamation mark sponsors to get all their deets and their links to all their cool stuff. In addition, if you want to sponsor the channel, our Patreon supports the bulk of what's going on here, and subs and bits will give you some awesome emotes while giving the player some extra benefits. And for September, all tier 1 subs are at they're not their usual $4.99. It is $2.50. Yes, it's half. So if you want to support the channel, sub. In addition, every 500 bits or tier 1 subscription will give a player a reroll, but just because I don't like having people choose, it'll just give everybody a reroll, one reroll to use. In addition, 1,000 bits or a tier 2 subscription will give a crit, which again, I don't like people being singled out, not necessarily, so everybody gets a crit. And yeah, so if we're lucky, you'll get to use them quite often, and if we don't, well, it's pretty awesome anyways. Okay, maybe that was phrased wrong. Anyhow, for more information about our Patreon, you can type exclamation mark Patreon to get our link to our Patreon. And as always, if you want to continue the conversation, join us on our amazing Discord. Type exclamation mark Discord to get that Discord invite link. And with that all out of the way, let's find out more about our characters. I have a map up, which the players can also see. And prior to this, we've had our session 0, where we've talked about our lines and veils, and also how our characters all know each other. So let's start on the start of this journey that brought you all to this particular town, which we'll get to in a bit. This world, Serzamin, is the... Okay, sorry. There's a lot of windows to keep track. We are all playing Politics and Plagues takes place in the city of Firdos. There's a saying amongst the people that says, if paradise was on earth, it is here. And thus the city of Paradise, or Firdos, was created. A land of paradise within the Pahari Mountains. Mudher. Actually, you know what? Let's just introduce the players, and then we'll introduce the characters. Yes. So let's start with the order of the journey. Simon, please tell us who you are and what character you'll be playing.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Simon. You can find me on the Twitter at Lucha Libris, and I will be playing Madur. He is a elephant folk, and he is the bard in Dungeon World. And so his bardic expertise is sort of in stories as well as antiquities, and that is why he is with the caravan. He is a merchant and a collector of all manner of trinkets and curios, magical and not, and he is traveling to find more of those things and learn more about some strange bardic practices, which we will learn about, I think, further on in the session.
Awesome. And And next, accompanying the caravan is Kate.
Hi, I'm Kate. I go by Mia Midair on the Twitters, and I'm playing Kieran. Kieran is a roguey sort who just joined a nice super secret organization that you'll hear about later, but has traveled extensively with Madur and is a perfume salesman dabbling in poison.
All right. And then along the way, they pick up none other than our wonderful Jess.
Hey everyone, I'm Jess. I go by Burst of Hope on Twitter, and today I play Karuna, who is a druid. And in this game, I think we talked about how that magic works more in tune with elemental spiritual aspects, and Karuna's very invested in seeing what makes paradise function and how to make it better.
Awesome. And next up, their first hire to make sure the caravan doesn't run into any more trouble than the last trouble that they get into, which will, if you want to talk about it now, we can certainly get into it, but but we can maybe talk about it once everybody's been introduced. And that is our very own Fox.
Hey folks, I'm Fox Barrett at Fox_Barrett on Twitter, and today I will be playing Sharmilla with the playbook The Fighter. I've got a very sharp sword, and it kills people real good.
Wonderful. And last but certainly not least, we have our very own Lauren, who helps them navigate the last of their journey to Firdos.
Hi, I'm Lauren. You can find me on Twitter at Sithwitch. I'm playing Yasmin, the Furbolg Ranger. Fairly youngish, like young adult. A little bit naive. This is maybe only her second trip as a trader/ranger. And yeah, kind of interesting interacting with this party. And I'm going to apologize. The light behind me is very bright. I'm going to try to get like a screen or something behind me for next time. Sorry.
That's cool. It's like the Matrix is back there, and you just, that's where you go and you get all your equipment. So frankly, I'm envious.
Okay, so we will go over just to establish some bonds that all of you have. As I had said earlier, the journey basically started from Banga, which is way on the other side of where you are currently, which is over there in the map. But it started off over here in Banga, in Koldak, the village. So, Mother, tell me a little bit about what motivated you, perhaps, to take this big journey to Firdos.
Yes. I believe Madur's made this trip a couple of times. It's a common trade route. But in particular, there is a courtesan house in Firdos, which is very intriguing. There is a group called the Asmara.
Actually, it's the name of a performer.
The performer.
Yes.
There is a performer named Asmara who works from the courtesan house called Gulbahar.
Yes.
And Madur has been so struck by the stories of this person that he really would like to see it for himself, to witness that splendor and beauty and see if there's anything that he can put into his own practice and make some money picking up some trinkets along the way.
Awesome. And then comes the next prompt of, traveling by yourself can be sort of risky, and it also helps to have someone to watch your back. How did you meet Kieran?
So Kieran's a sneaky individual.
And feel free to jump in at any point, Kate.
Okay.
Yeah, we are merchants, but Madur is very well aware of Kieran's extracurricular activities. And so I think they first became friends through the process of fencing off less than legally acquired goods that Kieran had been filching. And so Madur and Kieran have a very particular working relationship, which is both above and below board.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
And I like to, Kieran likes to snitch, cool, interesting things, antiquities-wise. So Madur was the perfect choice to fence those goods.
Awesome. So, as you traveled along, the two of you, what interesting events happened on before your first stop into the next trading town?
Well, Kieran sells perfumes and things, but also nice garments, specifically nice undergarments. And we were attacked by a panther who stole about half of Kieran's merchandise and absconded with it into the jungle.
Yep. This picture is the only known record of.
Oh my gosh, you have a picture.
Yep, on Roll20. I'll share it. I'll show to the players.
Oh, that one. I love that. I love that one.
I forgot about that.
Perfect.
Fearsome beast, to be sure. Honestly, you're lucky you got out with your lives.
Yeah, fair. So Kieran's stock was depleted by half
Yep.
of nice silky under things.
And somewhere in a jungle, there is a lovely silky underthings nest. And when you stopped at your first trading port, who did you meet? Perhaps someone who can talk with animals.
Oh yeah.
That's right. I think you guys saw me slink off and guide the panther away. Otherwise, you might have lost 75% of your undergarments. Just saying. Okay, so yes, you picked me up at the merchant's stop, and let's see, with Kieran, listen, you're not as sneaky as you think you are, and I see you pickpocketing, and I'm like, really, the bond I have with you is just, I gotta show you that while it's fun to get shiny things, there's a lot of beauty and value in the land. We can convert this one. We can save this one. Madur, it was sometime after the panther attack, maybe the weekend of, and I just loved the sound of your voice, and there was really something almost otherworldly for me when I listened to you singing, and I eventually show you a secret right of the land. So we got bonds already.
Awesome. So as you traveled through Shahabad, which is your home province, Karuna, you eventually realize that you might be a little light on some muscle. And Kieran, you remembered someone who might be interested in joining you along. Tell me how that happened as you stopped on in the Registani sort of trading port.
We stopped in the Registani trading port, and Kieran's like, I know someone, we need muscle, and sought out their old friend Sharmilla.
Hi! That's me! Hi, Kieran. We haven't seen each other in a very long time.
Very long time.
Very long time.
Yeah.
I met you when you were a kid, and you were stealing stuff, and that is really irresponsible of you. Really, I worry that you kind of just take things that aren't yours. That really makes people mad at you, and that's not good for your long-term health. But I'm happy to see you again, old friend, and I'm
also like, why I want you to come with us to help with my long-term health.
Totally. You know, I'm not really doing anything of value around here anyway, and I do stab things really good. So I'm gonna come along with y'all on this amazing journey up north. And hey, weren't you bringing underwear? Because I mean, we kind of talked about that beforehand. And
yeah, well, I have some.
I was expecting payment. Is all.
Oh,
you know.
yeah. We got you.
My underwear's really scratchy, so we can just.
Yep, that'll work.
Mhm.
I think I still have a few that in the right size.
We'll talk later.
And I feel like I have to interject this thing because this feels so real. Is that you sort of, I imagine you sort of sell your stock in like little piecemeal so that you have enough for the entire trip. So while selling some of your wares, someone pulls like this like the most like laciest thing and starts stretching, and it's like, will this be okay?
No. These are beautiful works of art. We don't stretch them.
But I need to make sure they fit.
Okay, no. And Kira will like pull them. No, but you have to understand they are stretchy and they will fit. But you do that again and you buy them.
And you see two little girls just wishing they could crawl under some rock as their mother proceeds to pick another pair up and start stretching them.
Okay, everything you stretch, you buy. This is our rule.
And throws the coin for it and just picks them up and goes.
You're very good at selling stuff.
Yes, of course I am.
And as you leave Registan, go up through Saptab, you realize you probably should find someone who can guide you through the treacherous mountains that are snow-peaked, and probably exchange your horses for goats. And you see a Bahari citizen just looking for maybe perhaps a job of some kind or a gig. And Yasmin, how do you think how do you think you joined the caravan?
So I would have joined them probably in the place of a relative who used to make this trip. The kind of the circuit, and just very excited, very much looking forward to the next caravan on this route.
Okay. How does Mother or Kieran feel, or really anyone in the party?
Hooray, more friends!
Clearly, the Yasmin is a talented tracker, and we would be remiss if we did not take someone of such extreme talents along with us on our journey. You are a feisty little one, aren't you?
I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm taller than you, but yeah, I've got a lot of spirit, and everybody in my village says that I show a lot of promise. So I'm really excited to come along. This will be the longest trip I've ever been on, so I'm really, really excited.
Goodness, Yasmin is the sweetest bean. I will follow her anywhere, but I swear, Sharmilla, you need to protect them at all costs.
I'm already on it.
Wink. Gotcha.
This could be useful.
Awesome.
Welcome, Yasmin. I have no idea how to climb a mountain, so I will need you very much, friend.
Okay, so I grew up around here. I know all the well, I don't know all of these trails, but I know the ones closer to my village, but I know about all these trails. So I think we'll be okay. We will be okay. We'll be fine.
We will definitely be okay. And I slap you on the back.
You are really strong.
Oh, yes. I'm quite fantastically strong.
That's amazing.
Yeah. But you're amazing, too.
Thank you. Yeah. This is going to be great. I'm so excited. I can't wait to come back along the route and show all my family all the stuff that I've traded for them, and then they're gonna have no problem with me coming back next year. It's gonna be so great. Thank you all for having me along.
Madur and Kieran have all kinds of stuff. Come on, you're gonna love it.
Does your village want you gone?
No. I'm actually so I had an uncle who used to be our main tracker and trader, and he's kind of too old for this now. So we needed someone else, and I was sort of his apprentice. I was too young to make the trips the last time, but now I'm old enough, and I would have made more trips with him, but there was an accident in the mountains, and now he's safe. He's at home. He's fine. The family's taking care of him. But I'm just out a little earlier than we all thought I would be, so it's okay. But I'm just out a little earlier than we all thought I would be, so I'm a bit. And yeah, it's gonna be.
Do you drink? Do you drink?
Yes.
Let's go get a drink.
Okay.
Every conversation I have with Yasmin is just this roller coaster of emotions.
Is it turning into oh honey?
I'm gonna try really hard not to. I'm confident in your tracking. I'm just terrified of your emotions.
Don't worry, Madur will pick up the slack on the sass for you.
Ooh.
So Kieran's gonna take Yasmin out drinking, and then start fleecing people using Yasmin's sweet innocence.
Oh.
I'm helping.
Before
definitely
before I
following
ask
along
those
with this
questions,
Drowning, like
before I ask those questions, first of all, thank you for all the follows that have happened during the streams. Apparently, I forgot to put Streamlabs in, so now I'm actually getting the notifications. I'm sorry I couldn't call everyone out, but thank you for whoever has followed since the stream began.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, back to the fleecing. How do you have an idea for what sort of a con you run?
Oh yeah. So the con is that we play a game, and Yasmin plays the game, because that I've taught her. Like I've taught her how to play this just simple dice game, and she plays it, and she'll win sometimes, but mostly lose. But then while they're engaged in the game, Kieran's just gonna pick their pockets.
Does Yasmin know what Kieran's doing while they play this game?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Okay, so for funsies, so that I can flex some figuring out how mechanics works, I'll have you roll a, I think Barley might work for this, because, or if you have a move that is specific to your playbook, you may suggest that to me and roll that instead.
I have tricks of the trade. I roll plus dex.
So, quick question: can I aid or interfere on this? Because I would love to interfere.
Yes, you can. Let's actually resolve that first before Kieran rolls.
Roll plus my bond with Kieran. It's a 5. So
which I think it's basically just 7 above. You get to add the bonus or penalty, and if it's 6 or below, nothing happens.
that is every roll in Dungeon World. Yep.
Okay. Awesome.
So
yes.
So roll, which means 2 things. One, for everyone who has not played Dungeon World, I now get to mark XP, which is awesome.
Yes.
So now I go from...
Speaking of which, I did forget that one thing in all I'm new, y'all. Because of our awesome charity stream that we had this weekend benefiting Rises Texas, and because we got to complete one stretch goal, but not the stretch goal in which I said all players get a level, which was $6,969.69. Nice. So instead, you all get 5 XP, which is halfway to your next level.
Woo!
So now you get to add one more to that, and we think about how you would ineffectively intervene.
Oh yeah, no, I got you, boo. All right,
Yeah.
so you're just picking people's pockets, right?
Yep.
So like my intent was to just kind of like come over and like interpose myself very like obviously of like, hey, there's somebody standing near you, other person. Like, hey, maybe notice that somebody's trying to pick your pockets without like saying anything, just sort of trying to make the people whose pockets you're trying to pick more aware of their surroundings by being a very looming presence. Obviously that blows up in my face somehow, so.
And we'll see just how it blows up as Kieran, if you would like to roll me your tricks of the trade.
That's a 10.
Yeah, no problem. You managed to pick pockets easily.
I think it's because Sharmilla was drawing so much attention to herself, it made it even easier for Kieran, because they're like, why is this person looming over me? What's going on?
I think I might have like seen Sharmilla and be like, "Hey, Sharmilla, you want to come see? I think I'm winning."
Oh, yeah, no, you're doing great. I'm really worried about a thing. Yeah, show me. Okay.
Okay, look, I got it too.
Oh, twos are good. I look over at Kieran. Twos are
Snake
good.
eyes.
Twos are,
Oh, I'll try again.
Very good. Yes, snake eyes, they call it in certain places.
But
And as you know, the eyes of snakes are enchanting and very, very alluring.
Snakes actually have really good vision because they don't really hear, so they have to have very good vision. So that is actually really good.
Karuna,
Yes.
do you have something to add to that as you hear it?
I don't. That's something about tympanic membranes. That's not okay.
Oh, do snakes not have good vision?
No.
Oh, Yasmin, I think you're mistaken. I'm so sorry.
Oh, did the snakes lie to me?
Did the snakes lie to them?
Well, they have forked tongues, don't they?
Yeah, because they also have really good senses of smell.
Karuna, is that true?
Yes. Eyes are not good.
Oh.
I'm
really
going to have a conversation with the snakes.
Having planted the seeds of chaos in this conversation, Madur takes a long pull of a drink and raises eyebrows and walks away.
Why don't you just check in with me? Which snakes you have a conversation with, Yasmin? Just before you dive into the nest.
Well, if they start to act, aggressive, usually Syad steps in and everything's okay.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
And for the benefit of the viewers, who is Sayad?
So Syad is Yasmin's goshawk friend. He's not a pet. He's a friend. She has a bond with him. She raised him from when he was very young, and he works with her as an assistant, kind of helps her scout, is her eyes in the air. She feeds him, kind of keeps him safe. There's a bond with animals, particularly birds, in her village for trackers. And Syad right now is, I imagine, outside doing his thing, not wanting to be confined inside.
How friendly is Syad with just other people besides you?
Is this a question in character or?
Sure. How friendly is Syad? Because they're really cute.
I mean, he's not unfriendly. I could ask him if, he'll he'll be okay.
I-
If you're not trying to hurt me or hurt somebody I'm supposed to be protecting, he'll be pretty fine. You
I-
kind of have to earn his trust, though.
Gotcha.
I actually imagine that these were sort of outside. A lot of these marketplaces tend to be outside if it's not raining.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, Sayad can be anywhere nearby, or if you think that he's off hunting or whatever, that's fine too.
He's probably kind of off hunting, kind of too many people for him.
Awesome. So as the evening ends on this particular journey on the road, you eventually make your way to Firdaus. As you approach, it's about mid-afternoon, so there's still enough light to maybe check out the city of Firdaus. But let me set the scene a little bit for you. You are currently on the peak of a foothill of some kind, and to enter Firdaus, which I will now switch to city map, go there and move you there. You basically, to get into Firdaus, you now have to travel in a downward slope. And you actually enter from here, just at the bottom of the map. And as you enter, the sight that greets you all is this enormous lake, and almost the entire city is built around this lake and in the steps following. This is like a lake that is nestled in mountains. So everything over here is terraced in the city, with this expansive towards the north over here, where there is gates. You can see the fortress and what looks to be a very nice palatial place, as well as princely houses and towns that overlook this big lake. And as you walk in, you see what looks to be docks, and you see what looks to be a floating market, which I also have an image for. And you see there's people on all sorts of boats selling their wares. And as you make your way to, and I'm just going to go back to the map again once more. This area over here, as you make your way slowly, is where there is not a floating market, but a regular market. Just open air merchants of all kinds, not just local denizens, but also traveling merchants, foreign merchants plying all of their trades. As you find a corner to set up shop, you see all the different types of traders that are there. You see those that come from somewhere in the far north selling mountainous mounts, such as shaggy horses and goats. But specifically the horses are the ones that stand out more, as there's plenty of goats over here. You also see... for most of you, you've never really seen them before until now, except for maybe Yasmin, because Yasmin's been here several times. You see what you hear as secondary merchants that sell metal armor and weapons that look nothing like what you can find here. You find spirits and liquors made from grapes, made from... you see them in what are, I guess, purplish red grapes. They're called red wine. You see what looks to be clear, almost clear like water. Those are apparently made from they're made from grapes, maybe white grapes, who knows. You see these really funky pieces of something that I guess would be cheese, but they're much harder. They look like they say that it's been aged for many months, maybe even years. You also see traders from the Far East selling silk, bamboo, spices, and a couple of local merchants that are selling things such as the local harvest of fruits, of fruit wines, apricot wine, of spices, of perfume, and saffron. And as you settle down, what would you like to do?
Well, I have a feature as the bard called a port in the storm. Now you've said so. The route from Koldak to Firdaus, is that a common route?
Yes, it is. It's a journey that people take essentially once every couple of months because the travel from Koldak to Firdaus is almost about 2 months long.
Okay. So I would guess between that's about 4 months round trip, plus some time to sell and to restock. The feature that I have says when you return to a civilized settlement you visited before, tell the GM when you were last here. They'll tell you how it's changed since then. So I think it's been at least 6 months, maybe more. Maybe even a year since Madur has been in Firdaus. So I would like to know what is changed in the city in that intervening year.
And that's a passive ability that doesn't require
Yes.
a check of any kind? Okay.
Yep.
So as you enter, some things have remained the same. What has definitely changed is you're seeing these Sikandari merchants. You know if they're called Sikandari just from the stuff that is being said around. You've seen the traders from the Far East. You've seen the traders from the North. These ones, from what you gather, they come from someplace far west, and they're fairly recent. They haven't been here the last time you were around as sort of foreign traders. So that's definitely new. In addition, you sense some sort of general tension in the air, but for that, I would prefer a more concentrated effort to figure out what this dis-ease is coming from.
Totally. So I think as we're riding in, Mother is taking that in and like pointing a few things out to Kieran, like, oh, you remember that corner club over there? We should definitely go back and have some of the stew that they had. That was fantastic. And like is kind of picking up on the vibe. And Mother, I think, like leans over to Yasmin and says, my young friend, have you traveled to the city often? Is this a common, you go between your village and Firdaus commonly?
I've been here twice with my uncle.
I'm curious. There seems to be, when I was last here peddling wares with my good friend Kieran, we found the people to be quite jovial and welcoming and warm, and now there seems to be a malaise, a certain harshness in the air, and I only wondered if you had noticed things such as that in your travels here, if you knew any change to the world around us.
I want to try discern realities.
Sure. What in particular are you trying to discern?
Okay. I want to. It's when you closely study a situation or person. So I want to take a look at the people around me with that whole. Sure. After Madur says that, take a look at their general demeanors.
Yes, definitely. Discern realities.
Okay. I rolled a 5. I can't discern any answers.
Well, mark off an experience. And you're as you sort of look around and try to see what the general uneasiness is, you're not able to pinpoint what the actual cause is, or sort of pick up something that might help you. However, you think the most obvious sign is clearly these two groups of well-armed people suddenly having, one shoves the other. The other's like, "Hey, what are you? Who do you think you are?" And a fight is starting to break out between these two groups of armed. You notice us with them, like each group has like maybe 3 or 4 armed guards. With them, there seems to be these heavily veiled and what looks to be Mother. You picked that up especially. Courtesans basically off work. This is their off time. They're going to the market to check out the market, and they are like shrinking away, sort of like, "Oh no, this is not good," and trying to basically just crawl under a rock and pretend this is not happening. So yeah, you think maybe that's why everybody's unhappy, as this fight is now, what was initially just a shove and a push is now turning out into swords drawn.
That might be why.
Yes, I would believe that would be a very good reason for flared tensions.
What do any of you do anything to intervene, or do you watch?
I mean, if I catch wind of people being beaten up on what ain't got no good business to be beat up on, like, I am in like Flynn, like I'm gone.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
gonna be running after Sharmilla and tossing Sayat up in the air and running after Sharmilla.
She's like, hey, like trying to interpose myself between people to be like, whoa, there is no need for violence here, friends. Whatever the problem is, I'm sure it's completely reasonable, and we can talk about this like civilized people.
And
Madur climbs off the caravan slowly and daintily because he's wearing very, very nice clothing, and so he's like, "Not so fast! Wait! Come!" Yeah, you're gone.
Kieran's just gonna sit on the wagon and watch.
okay,
Oh
so
my God, thank you.
Karuna, do you interpose or do you watch?
Remind me where the market is and this scuffle in relation to the lake.
Okay, yes. So you are currently somewhere around here.
Okay. I'm going to quietly extricate myself from the caravan, but remain at a distance neutrally to the scuffle.
Okay. So, sure.
It's a very quick question of the party.
Mm-hmm.
Can I get an alignment check on everyone? Because I'm good.
I'm
Neutral.
good.
I'm soft good.
Okay. Like, literally, my thing says defend those weaker than you. So I'm just
Good,
making
curious.
sure.
Okay.
Squishy.
So as you interpose yourself, Sharmilla, and Yasmin following behind, you manage to sort of get your word in as the swords are being drawn, and one of them says, They said that Ragini was nothing but a 2-bit whore." And the other one says, "Well, yeah, I mean, of course, if you're at the Angur Khana, it's not like you get to perform for princes. I mean, you perform for beggars, really." And then it's like, "Hey, watch your mouth. I'm gonna wash it with my sword." And what do you do as they start squabbling and getting ready to draw?
I mean, as they're drawing swords, like I put my hand on mine, which is this extremely nice. Like, I mean, it's in its scabbard right now, I guess. So really, you haven't seen it yet, but it's this massive talwar, and I just kind of like put my hand on and very like step forward and kind of lock eyes with them and say, "That is a soap that is a bit more deadly than I think you really want to reach for, friend." And I'm just trying to out them to like, don't draw that weapon. 'Cause
Okay.
I'll draw mine.
I think that would be a very good parlay, actually.
Okay.
Unless there's something you have a class feature that.
No, I'm thinking about like I guess my leverage here is that I'm gonna beat him up.
Yeah,
So
like
what I-
you're
A really
you're.
nice-looking sword.
Do you really want to go up against me, sort of a thing?
Okay, so yeah, so we'll say that's my leverage. So I will roll plus. Where is parlay in this list? It's right there. Whoop. Is it 8?
Okay, yeah. So you manage to make one of them stand down. And be like, okay, I see you. You're slightly bigger than me. Your sword also looks a lot nicer than my sword. But the other person sort of starts saying to Sharmilla, to Sharmilla, sort of like, sorry, not to Sharmilla, to the other group, saying like, yeah, run away, coward. It's like how it's what you do all the time, you know. After you beat you just ambush our dancers in the dark and just beat them up and run away, and you don't even say who you are. And the other guy turns around and is ready to sort of be like, hey, I don't like this, but looks at you again and says, this isn't the last you've heard of me, and is not looking at you, Sharmilla, particularly, but at the other one, and turns to the group and the courtesans and says, let's go. These high and mighty Gulbahar people think they're so much better than us. We have heart, I tell you, and then walks off.
As soon as tensions are diffused, because I need to give them a concrete assurance of my promise. Like the camera comes down and I'm just like slowly resheathing the sword I started to draw, and then just turn back to the group and go, "Okay, I think we're okay here now."
Madur comes running up, sweating a little bit, leans over, holding his knees. Is it? Excuse me, Sharmilla, have you resolved the situation?
Yeah. No
She
bloodshed
did
here.
it really well. It was great.
Thank you.
I must say, the stories that I've heard of your expertise for years truly do not do justice to your skill with words as much as they do with the blade.
Oh no, I'm much better with a sword.
Yes, you certainly are.
Hopefully you'll never get to see it.
I look forward to that day. Every day that I draw breath, that I do not see the glint of steel in your hands as it sings its song of beauty, is truly one that I am not living to the fullest extent that I might.
I want to see it.
Okay.
No, God.
No, it's okay. It's just a sword. It's been.
I just want to see the sword. I don't want to see you kill someone. I just want to see the sword.
Oh no. Yeah, definitely. I hate killing
And
people.
before you grab the sword, one of the one who basically was like, yeah, run away, walks up to you, Sharmilla, and says, "Thank you, my friend. You showed them what. I'm Faraz."
Oh, nice to meet you, Faraz. I'm Sharmilla. I just don't like violence. Are you okay?
Yes,
Yeah.
what was that all about?
Some 2-bit people from the Angur Khana thinking that they could get away with pushing one of our great performers. And you see at this point there's a man and a woman dressed in very bardly clothes, sort of not like in full finery like for a performance, but just very nice day wear, and sort of just smile at all of you. One of their courtesans shoved Ragini over here, and we had to tell them off. Yeah, that's what we were doing.
Why?
Why do what?
Why'd they shove?
Because they wanted to make sure that they finished off what they started. You know.
Why'd they start?
You look like you're from here, but you're not from here, are you?
I'm not from here.
Mm-mm.
Okay. I don't know if I should be telling such private things to a bunch of strangers, but
Apologies, 1,000 apologies. I must make an amends for my less than eloquent accompaniment here. Yeah, the young Yasmin is an expert tracker, I must say. Though perhaps social graces require a modicum of training. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Madur of Koldak. I am a humble merchant here to peddle my wares and perhaps be blessed with the chance to study a bit under the great Asmara. And these are my traveling companions, Zasmin and the blade singer, Sharmilla.
Hi.
Your blade sings.
I mean, well, it doesn't actually sing. I think what he's getting at is that it's called Moon Song. Here, and I kind of like get it off of my belt, and I turn the scabbard sideways, and I very slowly. If you know what a talwar is, it's a kind of like it's like a saber almost. It's a long curved blade that's one-handed. It's got like a little grip on it, and as I pull it out, like the it doesn't glow magically, but the metal of the blade like shines a very brilliant white in the sun. It's obviously very, very well cared for. And I kind of like unsheath it and like, with two hands, I kind of like hold it over for Yasmin to like, there you go. Play with it.
and
She
while
holds her hand out just above it, but doesn't touch it and pulls her hand back.
you admire the talwar, let's go back to Karuna. As this situation escalated and also diffused fairly quickly, what were you doing?
I had one eye on the interaction, but it seemed like Sharmilla had some sort of form of diplomacy going on. But I had kind of skirted around to try and. People aren't my thing generally, so I went to the lake side to really get a feel for the land here. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so are you attempting to commune or something of that sort?
Right now, I just want to observe. I don't want to do anything
Okay.
communally yet.
You could give me a discern realities.
Cool. I am also new to this system and don't know what to roll for that.
In your moves on your character sheet, there should be something called discern. Yeah.
Got it. Found it. Did I just click it? Oh, it did a thing. Did it do a thing? It did.
It did
rolled
do a
a
thing.
9.
All right. So you can ask me one question from the list below, and in addition, if you act on these answers at some point during the scene, you can take a +1 forward.
Okay. Of these questions, Karuna would most like to know. Let's say what here is not what it appears to be.
And this is in regards to sort of the land or the water, or
Yeah, in terms of the natural scape of this land or like the state of the water, there's something that shouldn't be here.
You see, especially in the lower districts, you see that there's a lot of refuse and a lot of it's the water is a bright blue, which is beautiful. However, you can see the reason why it's so bright blue. There's a lot of algae, which means that there's a lot of stuff in the lake.
Sure.
And as part of it, I will also say that as you sort of your eyes fall, you notice some of the locals here don't look as well.
Okay. Like pallid or just low energy?
Low energy, a little sickly, coughing here and there.
Okay. I will observe that and kind of stroll back to the group as they've kind of convened post scuffle.
Kieran. We will momentarily go to Kieran, who was basically slash popcorning just a little.
Yeah, just watching and also keeping an eye on like the area around us, making sure no one's coming to, mess with our stuff.
Mm-hmm. You do
Now that the
see.
group is completely gone, and then and keeping an eye out for food vendors for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, there's plenty of food vendors at this hour. In fact, near to the floating market and near to to sort of the river bank, sorry, the lake shore, I guess. You see a bunch of small little charcoal fires started, and it seems to be the morning vendors are also doing lunch at the moment, and you see them frying some amazing puris, which are these puffed up flatbreads. You see different curries that are sort of saucy and gravy and spiced really well with local peppers that are there. There's actually a very famous pepper that is called the Firdausi pepper, which has has the heat of like a chili, but it's very mild and it's very there's almost a sweetness to it as well as a kick in heat.
Nice.
So those are added in. There's potatoes, there's chickpeas, there's all the variety of beans, and then there's a lot of greens, which you notice they're out in the lake. There's this hydroponics area where there's a lot of vegetables just being grown right on the lake. And the floating market is basically pulling a lot of those veggies, selling it to the food vendors and to people around. And yeah, there's all of those set up.
Okay, I'm gonna wait until the group gets back.
Yeah. So back to the group. You're bringing out the sword. You're showing it off to Yasmin.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
Go ahead.
I was thinking that I would be using Charming and Open, which is a bard move. When I speak frankly with someone, I can ask their player a question from the list below, and they must answer it truthfully, and then they may ask a question from the list, which I must answer truthfully. So I would like to think that I would be being charming and open with the people that we just helped out. So if I click the thing, it puts that in there. And so I would like to ask you... whom do you serve?
So as you've been making small talk with Faraz says, well, I am the head guard of the Gulbahar. I serve where are my manners? I serve Begum Jan. And you mentioned Asmara. Oh, wow, you came from far. Asmara has long since moved from the Gulbahar, as she now has a patron somewhere in Shahabad. Maybe that's where you saw her as she was touring with the princess. I think her name is Razia, Princess Razia. Yes. Yeah, are you trained in a courtesan hall?
I have dabbled. I am of nearly nowhere near the same level of expertise as someone like Asmara, but I had only hoped to study to become just a fraction as talented as one such as they. But I did study at the Bardic colleges within Koldak.
Yes, I've heard of them. They focus far too much on the academics and not on the creativity that only Begum Jan can bring out. I mean, we do have an opening now that one of our courtesans got injured quite badly and will take a while to recover from the ambush. Again, I've been so stressed. I shouldn't really be saying these I mean, you introduced yourself, but I don't know you very well. But since I've said it already,
Well, did you count that as one of the questions you can ask me back, or was that?
Sorry, for...
Yeah, you get to ask me a question from that list as well.
No, yes, I was about to ask that question, actually.
Okay, shoot.
And it's like, well, would you like to audition? Begum John's very discerning, but you seem like a nice person, perhaps. We're always looking for new talent. I mean, definitely above the caliber that the Angur Khana has.
Yes, I sense they are a bit rougher around the edges. I wouldn't mean to impose, but I would be deeply honored to grace you with a performance from what I have learned in my humble past within Koldak, and perhaps we can exchange trainings and ideas. And if it is possible, I would certainly be willing to see what I can do to help your injured ally.
That would be wonderful. Perhaps you can come just before dusk at the Gulbahar, and gives you directions to where the Gulbahar is, and says, it is getting late, and we really must finish our business in the market before we head back and prepare for the evening.
Yes. Do you mind if my companions come along? I have several others within my traveling party who I'm sure would be honored to patronize your establishments.
Sure. I mean, yes. We always are looking for new patrons with a discerning taste. And it seems like you all have discerning taste.
Yes, and coin to spare.
And coin is always welcome.
Sharmila looks up at the mention of coin like,
Mador shoots you a look like raised eyebrows, huge plastic smile on the face, like, yes, of course we do.
Out of character, my character literally has no coin.
Same.
Okay.
Yasmin's just looking between them like,
Oh, Yasmin.
Yes. Be sure to mention that Faraz has recommended you. Just so they don't turn you away at the door. You see, we have a very discerning taste.
do you know Kairat?
Who?
He's also a Furbolg.
Looks you up and down and says, we have not had anyone with that name there, as far as I know, but I will admit I'm not always around for auditions, so maybe Begum John might know better.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And turns to their companions and walks off. And I imagine you all get together at some point.
They were nice.
Yes, they seemed quite nice, despite
Mador, I have no money whatsoever. Mador, what are you talking about? I can't get money. Mador, that's why I took this job, is because I have no money.
We shall make money, my good friend. Don't worry. If we cannot scrounge up spare coin by selling some of our wares, we may be able to catch more flies with honey, if you understand my meaning.
We're gonna sell bugs?
You can catch a lot of flies with a dead body.
That's actually true. I've seen it.
Wow.
And that's exactly when Karuna walks in, and I'm like, what happened to you? What is going on?
Yeah,
Who
like,
hurt you?
Karuna, come in. Yes, we were just discussing how we were going to enjoy some of Firdaus's hospitality at one of the finest courtesan halls in the city.
Is that a place to eat?
I'm sure they will have food.
in some ways.
Drink?
Yes, in other ways.
Yes, many who patronize Golbahar are quite thirsty.
Yep.
I
Exactly.
don't need to drink, nor do I recommend you drink here. But is this a place that we should acquire more information? What? Why are you looking at me like that?
It seems as though tensions are high, and perhaps we might learn a little about what is transpiring within the city and entertain ourselves at the same time.
Oh, well, tensions are always high when you're sick from the nasty water. Have you not looked around?
No, there was a fight.
Yeah, we had to stop a fight.
Yeah, you were very good at that. That is a scary blade, Sharmilla. But, just look at these people.
What do you
Yeah,
mean?
they don't seem very happy, but
Grumpy,
uh,
no
I
energy,
thought
lethargy.
I thought it was just because of the fight.
I don't understand the human side of this. Maybe there are tensions here, but there's clearly something not right in the water.
We
Karuna,
not
what has the wisdom of the land taught you? What have you seen?
I see unnaturally blue algae here that doesn't belong. I see a grayness in the pallor of the faces here, overshadowing their attitudes and perhaps their energy. Something is amiss.
How would the algae have grown there? I regret that I do not understand much of the natural world around us.
The one side that I understand now is there's a lot of shit going down. The other side, I haven't exactly spiritually communed with water yet because it's not the greatest looking, so I need to go find other sides of the water to kind of dig into it, but it's just real bad here.
We could attempt to contact something from the water. I have studied some magical rituals. We could call to the Jur and see if a water spirit that is uninfected would be able to teach us more.
Oh, that's absolutely the plan. I would love help with it. But if we need to go to this place that has food and drink for you all, yes, we can do that first.
I think we need to make some money first. Let's get set up.
Yes, of course. We are putting the metaphorical cart before the horse. Kieran, of course, you are the most level-headed among us.
All right.
Yes, of course.
So I believe that is a special move that you are trying to do to gain some monies, which would probably be a supply move. It is up to you among the party who would be doing that. Probably one of the actual merchants or being a merchant. And I believe that is simply a roll plus charisma to see
I'm
how.
gonna let Madur do that.
Sure. Would you like to aid or interfere?
Oh, I would love to aid you.
All right, please aid. Aid it up.
That's an 11.
Yeah,
you take a +1.
What does it look like, though? What did you
Oh
get?
no, I'm going to. No, you're right.
Yes.
Thank you for the
Yes.
reminder. I'm going to help set up the whole area. Kieran is all about appearances, and so they are putting everything together just perfectly, so that it all looks like the most enticing that it could possibly be for any passerby.
All right, and Mother, if you would like to roll your charisma move, and we'll see how the day goes.
Okay. So there's no move for it specifically, so I'm just going to roll 2d6. I get +3 on my charisma and +1 from
I think
the
if you just click on
eight.
charisma, it should
just
roll
do the
it.
thing.
Yeah, just
All
give
right.
yourself a +1 forward and click on charisma.
If you click on the like
Okay.
jaw.
Well, it doesn't
Well.
matter now, does it?
Yes, please describe to me. how you ply your wares with such aplomb and uh, words.
Mm. So I think thanks to Kieran's wonderful like setup, like Kieran does like the back end, like putting things here and arrange this over here, and of course you have to have the bottle stacked just so like this. And I think Kieran Madur like ends up roping everyone else in the party into the sales pitch. So once they set it all up, he's kind of walking around in his element. Like sweeping gestures. For my look, I chose a stylish cap, so I thought it like the like leather thing that goes over the elephant's head with like metal bangles and stuff. Yeah, like that, but like different. So jauntily walking around, calling to everyone, step up, my good friends, the finest goods from Koldak and everywhere in between. We have come here to sell you the finest wares of all kinds, curios for the collector, tools for the tinker, drapery for the dancer. Yes, blades for the bodyguard. Yes. Look, and with us, of course, the moon singer herself, Sharmilla, demonstrating very well how to hold a shield in just the right way. Look at the glimmer. Look at the glint, like the sun itself blazing upon her arm. Yes, and Yasmin with all manner of strange creatures and things that crawl, swim, and fly. Good for your household and for your stews, yes. And Karuna with the strangest and most beautiful herbs and plants that you have seen. Look as they hold high the finest herbs that may dry to decorate your homes and fill your places of business with sweet smells. And of course, I would be remiss not to call attention to my assistant Kieran's perfumes, my business partner's finest wares. Come closer, come, and like pulls people off the street. Come and smell, and like spritzes somebody with it. See how your senses are flooded with joyous sensations and find your mind at ease. Yes, of course, here you go, and I'll take the coin there and just kind of goes off for a while.
So by the end, there are definitely daytime merchants and nighttime merchants who sell different wares, and some that do both. You can choose if you want to adventure in the evening or split it between the party in favors, in sort of shifts, to close for the day at dusk or continue until about midnight if you want, but at least at dusk you do so well you could afford to close up if you wanted to. You've made I'm still figuring out how money works, so for the time being hand wavy. You make enough coin to definitely pay whatever the door prize is in Golbahar, to tip lavishly and still have some money for yourself, and that's for everybody in general if you're doing your splits, like even splits.
In the middle of this, Kieran's gonna slip away.
Okay.
For some brief time and go in search of a specific food vendor.
Yeah, sure. I will say, okay. How do you search said vendor?
Okay, so what Kieran's plan is to do is to go to the food area. Go to a stall and like one that looks good, and purchase some food and said, so I have a friend that told me that I need to try Murgy's food. Do you know where I would find them?
Murgy? Never heard of them. I mean, I'm a daytime merchant, but the nighttime merchants might know more.
Are there any of them around here right now?
They'll be here around dusk. I mean, actually, that guy like 2 boats over? They're sleeping right now, but they're gonna wake up soon. They usually do the nighttime circuit. If you want to go wake them up and ask them, you can certainly do that.
Thank you so much. And I'll leave and I'll be like, nope. I will wait until they wake up.
Yeah, at around dusk you can try again.
Yeah, okay.
And yeah, dusk approaches as you can definitely wrap up for the evening and the night is young. The one thing all of you notice though is that most of the traveling merchants set up camp here, which is Yasmin for you and Mother definitely very unusual. Usually there's accommodations in like the local chawl or community, which is sort of slightly in the slummy area, but there's accommodations to be found there. But most of the traveling merchants instead are you notice, as it wasn't very obvious before, but it's very obvious now as dusk is settling, that they're either living out of their caravans or they're camping right next to it.
Well, that's new.
Yeah, strange.
What?
So the last couple times I came here, usually there's like the merchants, the traveling merchants like us.
They usually go
wouldn't
stay
be-
there.
Huh?
They go stay over there.
Yeah,
on the map.
they wouldn't be over. They wouldn't be camping in their like caravans. They'd be staying over there. This is new.
So merchants are now undervalued? It's inconvenient to stay with your caravan? I don't understand.
Well, there's like accommodations.
Oh. So someone else took it.
And who is it going to?
I'm gonna go ask.
Yeah, you go ask, and they say, well, apparently the entire chawl is under quarantine or something, so we weren't allowed to go in, and no one was really allowed to go out.
Karuna.
What?
Okay, so they said it's under quarantine? Does this have to do with people being sick, do you think? Like you saw in the water?
That is generally the motion that people do in the medicine and sciencey aspect. Yes, quarantine is not good. Not good at all.
Did they say what they were diseased with?
They just said they were quarantined.
Nobody goes in or out.
But
So clearly
that's
we need to get it.
that's bad.
We would do well to steer clear of anywhere that riddled with disease. I'm not looking sick.
If it is this sudden, then what could have possibly caused something like that? A disease spreading at that rate seems unnatural.
Didn't Karuna say that someone was putting shit down in the water?
The algae?
If
Maybe.
I need to study more, see more, but I mean, if it's as rapid as we think it is, it's not natural. Either something is upset or someone is upset and has tampered with the situation here at the lands.
So something more than it then. Okay.
Those are good hypotheses. And at this point, you would actually be looking for accommodations. So the fact that no accommodations are to be had at your current price point, your two options are get more money to stay in a nicer area or camp near your caravan.
Karuna's content camping, but really,
I'm fine with camping. I camp a lot. I'm really good at it.
I have no problem sleeping under the stars or in a tent or wherever.
pointedly stares at Madur.
Madur, are you okay sleeping out here?
Well, I must confess to being used to certain standards of living. However,
Oh, right.
if the wise Karuna does say that it is safe in terms of the exposure to the disease and the if Yasmin, you have slept under these stars many a night. I suppose I don't see the harm in it. We may simply need to keep a closer eye on our wares.
Which we can do if we're here. It'll be really easy.
Yep, super easy.
Oh, hey, Kieran. Where you been?
Oh, here the whole time.
Oh,
You're really quiet.
yeah.
You're
I'm
very
good at
like, yeah. You'd be a really good like tracker. I could teach you.
Mm,
that. Really?
Yeah.
Love that.
mm, mm.
I hope you guys are not hearing my cat singing the song of his people.
No.
Okay,
No.
good. Because my husband walked in and then walked out, and now he's just like, "But where did you go?" So
No, we're fine.
okay, good.
The betrayal of cats.
Yes. Yes, so Karen, you were going to perhaps inquire about some of the food vendors.
Yeah, I was gonna see if Yasmin was hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can get food for everyone.
Yes,
Sounds
we can.
great. Let's do that.
Yes, let's.
Are you going with?
Uh-huh.
And
You're really strong, so you could help us carry the food back.
Definitely.
And
yes.
is Karuna-
Look at Kieran. I could carry a lot of food for our friends.
and Karuna and Madhu are also joining, or is it just the three of you?
I think I would look at Kieran and see if this is like, hey, are you doing business right now? Or is it cool if we kind of trail along?
Kieran will look at you and be like, shrug. But you'll get that kind of like that whole thing, like,
Right, the whole range of emotion.
yeah.
Well, I must admit, it has been some time since I was in Firdaus. I would like to see what the nightlife has to offer. I would not want to impose on your situation, but
Is it safe to leave our stuff without someone here?
Oh, if everybody's going, I get.
I wasn't going. I
Oh.
would prefer to set camp. And can't just plop here.
Okay. Yeah. I like kind of bite my lip and look at Madur and look at Kieran and look at Madur, and it's like, I guess if you're going, I could stay here with Karuna and help with the camp.
oh, if you
Okay.
wish to see the city, I am sure I will have ample opportunities while we are staying here to take in the nightlife. I would not mind polishing the materials and wares that we have in preparation for market day tomorrow as well. Please, I insist.
Okay, Madur. Thank you.
Okay. And as you go to check out the night vendors, the person who was 2 boats over is currently setting up. Fires are lit, but nothing has been cooked yet. Basically, everybody is transitioning over. Yeah.
Friend.
Yes, friend?
Oh, I know you're not quite open. And we're going to be making a large order later, and I kind of wanted to know what you offered here.
Well, I offer puris, I offer parathas, I offer curries, I offer sag, I offer leftover
That sounds-
curries.
Amazing.
I love
Okay.
Sag.
And then I'm going to lean in and be like, do you know anybody named Margie?
Why are you whispering?
Because they like to listen to my business and it bugs me.
Okay. And I'm not gonna whisper anymore because it really
Yeah,
does
that's
a
fine.
number in my throat,
No,
but whispers back. You want chicken?
Yeah, I'd like some chicken lollipops, actually. Do you make those?
No. But I heard there was some weird vendor who apparently is near and points to a really far away bridge, which let me point that on the map, is somewhere over here.
Holy moly!
And you all are basically over here.
Huh.
And or here. Like there's vendors sort of lining all the way over here. And the entertainment district is over here. So there's food vendors, especially the night food vendors, sort of bleed into the entertainment district. Yeah, so as you sort of points in the direction where you can see really far off this bridge that allows people to basically cross the river without having to wade through it. Says, yeah, there's some weird person out far past the slums over there, the chawl over there, that only makes one thing apparently, and never makes any money, but still continues to ply their wares over there. I remember hearing something about like chickens, but honestly, don't eat the chickens.
Oh, okay, thank you.
And we'll take your order if you would like to place one.
Yeah, I'll place a really big order.
Yeah, and basically tells you to come back in about an hour when the stuff is all prepared. And yeah, I think this is probably a good place to take a quick break. And before we go on break, there's a couple of shout outs I would like to do, which... Hold on, there's a lot of new things. Okay, so first of all, a big shout out to Roll20, who is our season sponsor. And as we go into break, I will actually roll a quick video about all our sponsors and all the cool stuff that is available and all their links. So if you go to as we head to break, why not head over to roll20.net /start/WTTP, and that link should show up if you type !sponsors, and sign up for your free account today. So there's over 4 million people who use Roll20's virtual tabletop to power their favorite games, like this one. And with modules galore on the marketplace, you'll definitely find something for your group to enjoy. And also, I would like to give a huge shout out to all our Welcome to the Party Patreons. And we will be right back with Politics and Plagues. And I will now do some rolling off stuff. See you in a bit.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. If you get a second during break, you should check out one of our amazing sponsors. We're now proudly sponsored by Roll20, the best virtual tabletop for all your role-playing needs. Over 4 million people use Roll20's virtual tabletop to power their favorite games. And with more modules than you can shake a stick at on their new revamped storefront, you'll definitely find something for your group to enjoy. Sign up today by clicking the link below or heading to roll20.net /start/WTTP. Tabletop Loot is an amazing place to get your dice bags, dice boxes, and more. And now you can get 15% off your purchase at tabletoploot.com by using the code WTTPDICE at checkout. Tabletop Loot. Your party starts here. While you're at it, check out our so awesome merch store, So Nerdware. So Nerdware is the place to find all your Welcome to the Party merch and other amazing stuff too. Head on over to sonerdware.com and use the code WELCOME at checkout to get 10% off your next purchase. So Nerdware. It's what the nerds wear. Devin Rue, the amazing mistress of maps, has kindly supported the channel since the beginning and provides graphics for many of our streams. Head on over to rueinc.com to check out some of the best fantasy cartography on the web. Our Patreon supports the creators and producers of the channel by providing Roll20 subscriptions, cost coverage for video hosting, and more. If you want to support the channel while getting podcasts a week early, gaming articles that are published on Patreon first, a shout out during our break, and more, head on over to patreon.com/welcomepartyrpg and throw us a buck or $5. And last, but certainly not least, help out the party. Subs and bits not only support the stream, but also every 500 bits or a tier 1 sub gives a player or DM of your choice a reroll or system equivalent. If you get a second during break, you should check out one of our amazing sponsors. We're now proudly sponsored by Roll20, the best virtual tabletop for all your role-playing needs. Over 4 million people use Roll20's virtual tabletop to power their favorite games. And with more modules than you can shake a stick at on their new revamped storefront, you'll definitely find something for your group to enjoy. Sign up today by clicking the link below or heading to roll20.net/start/WTTP. Tabletop Loot is an amazing place to get your dice, dice bags, dice boxes, and more. And now you can get 15% off your purchase at tabletoploot.com by using the code WTTPDICE at checkout. Tabletop Loot. Your party starts here. While you're at it, check out our so awesome merch store, So Nerdware. So Nerdware is the place to find all your Welcome to the Party merch and other amazing stuff too. Head on over to sonerdware.com and use the code WELCOME at checkout to get 10% off your next purchase. So Nerdware. It's what the nerds wear. Devin Rue, the amazing mistress of maps, has kindly supported the channel since the beginning and provides graphics for many of our streams. Head on over to rueinc.com to check out some of the best fantasy cartography on the web. Our Patreon supports the creators and producers of the channel by providing Roll20 subscriptions, cost coverage for video hosting, and more. If you want to support the channel while getting podcasts a week early, gaming articles that are published on Patreon first, a shout out during our break, and more, head on over to patreon.com/welcomepartyrpg and throw us a $1 or $5. And last, but certainly not least, help out the party. Subs and bits not only support the stream, but also every 500 bits or a tier 1 sub gives a player or DM of your choice a reroll or system equivalent, and every 1000 bits or tier 2 sub gives a player or DM of your choice a crit or system equivalent. Thanks again for hanging out with us today. The game will be back in just a few minutes.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
You're muted. That's it.
Yeah,
Muted.
I say
You
we're
can't hear.
muted. Let me-
Haha! It's not a premiere without some without some problems. Cool. I get to do this all over again. So we're learning new things, and it ain't a premiere without a couple of hitches. I wanted to say thank you to Space Pirate Games for the follow, as well as I believe they have just joined the party, so thank you. In addition, as it is a sub, that means everybody gets one reroll. Yay!
Ooh.
Yeah, so keep that in mind for the rest of the session. In addition, so let's get back to this game. Before the break, dusk had arrived, and Kieran, you ordered some food and found out about a particular an odd vendor who seems to not be making money but keeps selling under a bridge towards the north. Yes, your food arrives. It is delicious. It looks delicious. You have not had any yet, so I'm not going to make that decision for you. What do you think you've ordered? Or what would you order based on what they had mentioned previously?
Trying to remember what all they mentioned.
They had mentioned puris, they'd mentioned parathas, they had mentioned rumali rotis, which are like these super thin, almost handkerchief thin bread, flatbreads. There is various curries, vegetable, bean, potato, and sag, which is just like greens.
I think unless Yasmin or Sharmila had said anything specific, it would be puri, some roti, definitely a potato curry, and some sag, just so you have a little bit of everything and enough for everybody.
And Sharmila, what you had mentioned something.
I got this, fam. All right, so check it. Kieran, whatever it is that you are sitting down to have.
I've got a little bit of everything on my plate.
Fantastic, because like the only thing Sharmila has dished up is like wherever the saga is, she's just like, yep, that's coming back with me. But like looks over whatever you have and goes like, what, and it's kind of like pointing at your food as if to get your attention.
Yes, Sharmila.
Hey, I could make it better.
How often have you done this?
Snatches the plate.
No, but how often have you done this?
This has come up a few times on our trip. Okay. In fact, actually, this is so the last time we like parted ways, I figure I made you something, and it didn't go over great.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't know how you would have reacted to that.
To your face, lovely.
Okay.
Yeah, but like, okay, Sharmila.
So I definitely would have come away from that being like, no, I gotta double down. I will work on my cooking. This is gonna get better. So like I've been practicing in the meantime and waiting for opportunities to like feed you and have it be good. So on the trip up, I suspect this has happened a few times of me like, oh no, hang on, wait. I can make it better.
Okay.
Fantastic. So like I drop my own food, grab yours, and like so like do we have like a wagon or like something that's like covered or
I think we have a wagon. That makes sense,
Yeah,
right?
you would have a wagon.
Okay.
And the wagon is not the wagon is basically like it's built to be attached to two creatures of burden. And at the moment you have goats hitched to it because at some point you switch them from horses, which are better for flatlands, and switch to goats, who are just a little hardier in the mountains. Unless you purchase some of those mountain horses that some of the far north traders are selling. In addition, the wagon is sort of covered very loosely with some sort of a thick canvas linen. And it's mostly open to the elements, really, except for that canvas, which is oiled in some way to prevent it's got some weatherproofing.
Okay, perfect. I grab your food, I disappear into that thing. I then very quickly run back and grab like 1 or 2 spices and then disappear again.
Did we see you guys come back?
Yeah, we've handed out food. Like,
oh, okay.
You all
we're
are
sitting
eating.
at this point.
Yeah.
Unless
Yeah,
you're not there.
No, I've been here. We've been here.
And I disappear with Kieran's food for a minute.
All right. What is everyone doing as Sharmila takes Kieran's food and disappears? Is this a common thing that's been happening? Or
It's happened, I think what she said it's happened a couple of times.
A couple times.
Okay.
But yes, if nothing happens, then I just wander
Yeah.
back. But
Awkward
I'm
silences.
Space. In case anybody wanted to do anything while I was.
Karen with some manure. How's the food? Good for everybody?
It's really great.
I appreciate the serving, but if you're hungry and want seconds, I don't need this.
No, I'm okay. So Sharmila's covering it.
With what?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
That doesn't-
sorry.
If you need sustenance, this is going to be neutral.
Okay,
here.
thank you.
We'll just hide it. Sharmila,
I appreciate you. Thank you.
okay.
And I will say, Sharmila, enough time has passed for you to return.
I reemerge. your food has been rearranged a bit and does look a little different. And I just kind of like very, very proudly, but very like, okay, now try it. Now try it.
Oh, okay. And I'll take a bite. How is it?
Did you want me to like roll to defy danger on this?
Yes, sorry.
Certainly sounds like a
I
defined
am
danger.
I am so engrossed in this. I kind of forgot. Oh wait, I'm GMing this. So yes, please roll a charisma check to see how well you do. How well you set up this. Sorry, not charisma check. How do you think you've set it up such that you what stat would you like to roll your defy danger?
Honestly, this is cooking. Cooking is wisdom. That's also my worst stat, so here goes everything.
Yep.
Fine.
Spend that reroll.
So yeah,
No,
you do
being
have a
that is kind
reroll.
of beautiful.
You do have a
Now you
reroll.
Excuse me. I want my XP, which I will now go take.
Yes. Oh, that is true. If you fail,
That's true.
I will say if you want, you could try to gamble with your reroll to make your mixed success into a full success. But because these are like sub rerolls, I'll just say that you could take the better of the two. So if you
Sure.
don't do well, you can just take your mixed success. Okay.
I rolled a 2, Kate.
Kieran takes a bite and is like, "Oh, wow, this is great, Sharmilla. Thank you," and just makes the most panic fear face at Karuna that they've ever made. Like, and we'll wait
May
for
I?
Sharmilla to look away,
And I immediately go to my SOG and just start wolfing it.
and we'll like just switch out.
May I interject? Feel free to take it or use something else. But nothing else has been done to the food except a whole bunch of seasoning salt has been added.
Oh, my. So it's just like the most salty thing.
It was perfectly seasoned prior to this.
Like eating brine.
I think Mother sees that happen and like gestures to Kieran like, I know this is a common concern. May I attempt something?
Oh, sure.
I've been practicing a little something, and I want to try and cast a spell.
Can we just let the food be?
No, we're gonna
I want to see the
mess it
spell.
up.
I want to know what this
I wanna
spell
see.
is so bad.
What's-
So I have a cantrip called Prestidigitation,
Okay.
which, among other things, allows me to flavor an item. So I want to try. I think Mador like sticks a pinky into the food and like sit and go. It is as if every sea in the world was poured into this dish.
All right.
And
Let's see
is
how
gonna
the
like try and cast a
goes.
spell to change the flavor. Like it's still salty as hell,
Yeah,
but at least maybe your brain will think it's not
yeah,
that.
fair.
Yeah.
Oh,
nothing. but
Let's
the
hope
rock.
you don't have blood pressure issues.
Oh no.
Things happen.
So you know how while you were so first of all, Markov experience.
Yep.
2,
Yep.
while you were learning the spell, you knew that you had to stick it in a particular way and do a somatic component in just the right way. Instead of going in the reduced salt, you've intensified it.
Mother is like weaving, like doing this cool hand gesture, and then reaches into the component pouch and pulls out like a little
And a salt?
like dust. Yeah, little, like this yes, and this powder will negate all of the saltiness in the dish, and blows it into the thing, and it like the food I think glows and then like glows a really awful color. But there's the spirits appear to have missed.
Don't eat this.
Puts it in, licks it, and then immediately, I need to think about several things. Puts the food down and just goes into the caravan. And there is some very unsubtle,
Like swearing.
yeah, like
I'm gonna
horrible
take
noises.
the bad dish,
Mhm.
and I want to chuck it in the water
Yep.
just to see.
What's your alignment again?
I'm here to help something or someone grow. That's it.
If it happens to be E. coli, then that's a natural force.
What is a freshwater lake?
Actually, that much salt might desiccate E. coli.
That's
Hey, it might help with the algae. Who knows? Okay, so you describe to me how you do this deed.
So who had the dish last? Is it Madur just staring?
Yeah, I just like
at
put
your
it
life
right down.
choices?
Like,
Yeah. Okay, and I'm gonna gingerly take it by one hand, waiter style, and replace Kieran with my plate and be like, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go respectfully not waste this food.
Thank you. I like the leave.
And do you just unsummarily dispose of it, or is there something you do?
I just stare at the sad water in front of me, and I just spoon it out, bite by bite, and just kind of flick it into the water in various places.
Here
You,
comes
like-
the airplane.
You
I
see,
get to the last bite, and I like fling the whole spoon as far as I can into the pot.
so you tossed Kieran's cutlery into the lake.
100%.
I mean, Kieran mostly eats with their hands anyway, so it's not that big of a deal.
Okay. So as you flick each food, each little morsel, you see little fishies come up to sort of be like, food.
I'm
Take a
squatting,
bite.
watching them.
It takes one, like, the first few fishes that come up take little bites, kind of sort of like start flailing and moving around, like what the hell just happened, and then you notice the fishes start to move away from the food.
Okay, so not energized, but also not having seizures.
No,
Okay.
I am not a fish person or a fish expert. I don't know how they would react to salt, but I imagine freshwater fish don't like salt.
Okay. Disappointed that this food was presented and it wasn't what they wanted. Got it. But there are fish in the water.
Yes. They don't.
Are they like minnow-sized or bigger?
They are minnow sized. They're very small.
Okay. Little baboos. Got it.
And I also love how we spent about half an hour talking about food. I mean, it's on point. It's on brand at this point.
Very much a brand.
Pretty much.
This is what I signed up for.
Okay. Is anyone else doing anything during their meal?
Yasmin's just eating her potato curry, just happy as a clam.
Okay. So after
As Kieran leaves, I just like nudge Kieran and go, see, that's why you don't mess with magic.
Yep, that's right, Sharmilla. That's why you don't mess with magic.
Ruin perfectly good food.
So as your meal ends, the evening is yours to do as you please. What would people like to do?
I want to go out on the town.
All right.
Like party town or pickpocket town?
Party town.
Okay.
We had enough money
Pickpocket.
today.
Yeah.
I mean, pickpocket if there's a chance, but like, let's be real.
Fair.
That's not all Kieran does.
Kieran, how old does Kieran present?
Kieran looks like they're looks like a young male. So looks about 18 or 19 and male.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they look
Okay.
like.
Just double checking.
Yeah.
Huh. I would venture out to the party scene if that is where Kieran goes.
And for the sake of people not feeling like they have to get changed to the caravan, I will say you have like a one person sort of hireling who is there to look after the things and just stands there sort of like, yep, this is what I signed up for.
Perfectly capable. Good job.
Yes.
Write a good book.
Wanted to go to your courtesan place, Mother?
Oh, I had nearly forgotten in my near-death experience. Yes, I do believe we have an invitation, which I will, of course, have extended to all of you. If you would like to see, I'm very excited to see what Firdaus has to offer and what Gulbahar in specific does.
I'm having a hankering for a certain kind of chicken that I've heard is sold much further north.
And you would have to pass by it on your way to the
Yeah.
Gulbahar, because if you look at the map, you kind of have to. You're currently over here. You'll
where are
need
we going?
You need to follow the road here all around. This is the bridge. Actually, sorry, yeah, that's the bridge over there where the when vendor is, and then basically have to travel around the lake to basically get to the Gulbahar, which is here. Like, even though you could technically go across the lake, unless you hire a ferry, which for the most part, most of the boats, there's actually not very many ferries. A lot of the boats that are here are houses and shops and residents all in one sort of a thing. So the floating market is here. There's also a floating shanty town over here, in addition to the shanty town that's here. And this is where sort of the hydroponics and everything are. So
It's actually kind of hard to get a ferry through.
Yeah.
yes,
So much stuff in
exactly.
the lake. Yeah.
Despite the
So-
map, it's very, very, very dense.
Right.
Yeah, and therefore you basically have to go around the lake
Okay.
to get to where you need to go, which is here.
Which I think is on the way. So shall we go?
Yes, if you're in need of an extra little snack, I imagine you didn't touch your food very much, and so I don't blame you, of course, for needing a little.
It's okay that you ruined the food, Mador. It's fine.
Yes, well, we can't all be
Don't
as
worry about it.
accomplished chefs as you are.
Oh, thank you. I'm working on it.
So as you sort of go, it'll take you about an hour's journey to get to the Gulbahar as you make a circuitous route around the lake. With your evening meal complete, you start going by the docks. You see the entertainment district starting to come to life. Prior to that, you would have to walk a fair distance to actually get to the entertainment district, but from where you are, you can kind of see the lights starting to, little red lanterns everywhere, little oil lamps, all sorts of bright lights beginning to display as the sun sets in this town. And as you pass by, you see very clearly a sign saying the Angur Khana. So you know the Angur Khana is near the docks in the entertainment district, very next to where you are. You also notice as you're passing by some hastily erected fencing all around, specifically Mother and Yasmin, you would know this, that the shawl that is there didn't have any fencing before. In fact, it's fairly like a lot of the places here in the lower district. It's just open to the elements and very loosely formed communities, basically. Very loosely marked demarcations that say, okay, the market's here, entertainment district is here, Chawl is over here. And you see now this entire chawl has this large 10-foot fencing that looks like it's very shoddily and very quickly erected. In addition, you see a couple of tents, like 2 or 3 big tents that have been set up in front of what looks like some sort of an entrance point to this fencing. And Karuna, you recognize the signs for like a temple of healing up there on these new tents. As you pass by, unless any of you decide to stop, I will continue giving various descriptions. You go past this fencing further up the lake north, and you now approach the bridge. You see what looks to be Kieran and Mother to a certain extent. You recognize the signs of fronts for various criminal activities over there. Usually just people milling around, and there's no food vendors here because most of the population was further south. But you see what looks to be under the bridge, literally, this little shoddy stall. It doesn't look like it's opened quite yet, but there's some rather pathetic chickens hanging, like, similar to, like, Peking duck, but it's just, like, raw chickens and the skin, and the skin just there. They're just hanging, except
it's like in a market, but they're, like, scrawny.
Yeah, they're scrawny, the skin doesn't look that great, and the legs and the wings are all cut off. And you notice next to this big, gigantic, like, wok of some kind, like a karai, basically, sitting, that's filled with oil that is quite cloudy. Like, nobody's changed the oil in a couple of days, and they've just been frying it in that same oil. And you see what looks to be this thick, glutinous batter sitting right next to it, and a couple of chicken thighs where the skin's kind of been pulled up to form like this ball at the end of this chicken bone, and forming a lollipop, essentially. But they've not been dipped in batter yet. And and you see this one guy just sitting there in like this thin cotton vest and a lungi, and is just like the most disinterested person ever. And is just sitting there, like, scratching their head, scratching their chest. It's all sweaty, and, you know, scratching somewhere a little below, and
No.
and it's just sitting there as you approach.
I'll be right back. I'll just say to the group, just wait right here for me.
Are you sure this is the correct?
This is what you wanted? This was the famous chicken?
I'm gonna find out.
I understand you are closer connected to the land, but sometimes you may find that the most interesting and wonderful experiences are where you least expect them. The ones that are the most humble.
Are natural.
Yes, well, I'm not going to eat it, but.
And then Kieran will walk up to the man.
And sort of just looks at you disinterested, doesn't really say anything, and is just waiting for you.
Murgy,
Yeah, what of it?
I'm supposed to ask you for a chicken lollipop.
Yeah, 1 minute. And takes one of the readied sort of chickens, sticks it in the batter, and like it's just like gloopy, and then runs it in the oil for like a minute, not even fully cooking it, and sticks it and says, 1 gold piece, please.
For that?
It's not worth the salmonella, Kieran!
Hey, Karuna, this actually reminds me, something's been bothering me all day. Do you get more flies with honey or a corpse? That something came back to me for some reason right now.
What kind of flies are you looking to attract?
Oh, you'd have to ask Yasmin. I don't know.
I don't know. They were just talking about getting more flies with honey, and generally I've seen a lot more flies on dead things than
Yeah.
honey.
Sometimes we speak in metaphors to understand life better.
Well, that's not one I've ever heard before.
That's okay. We can teach you.
I was just
We
curious.
use different ones in my village, so.
So is it carcasses or is it honey? As I'm looking over at the chickens.
I go into a very long monologue about the literal sense of being kind to one another, and the flies represent what you desire, and the honey represents you being nice to people. I probably
I'm
lose.
just gonna hand over the stupid coin.
So as you hand over the coin, looks at it, pockets it, and instead of using one of the loosely sort of you know how when food is wrapped at like street food, there's like pieces of paper that are ready to just wrap up into a cone. Pulls out almost like a metallic thin foil, like which would be aluminum foil, but it's like almost sort of goldish or silverish, like it's like this weird glittery thing. Wraps the bottom of the bone in it and hands it to you, and says, "Thank you for your business."
Pleasure doing business with you. And then Kieran walks away, unwrapping the thing from the stick, and just tosses the stick on the ground.
Yeah, the silver on the inside that was touching the bone has your next directions of how to make contact.
And what does the silver say?
It basically says that Murgy will inform the guild that you have arrived, and you will be contacted by a guild member shortly.
Great.
And as you return, sans chicken.
And I folded up the thing and put it in my pocket.
Yep.
Yep, that was not what it's cracked up to be. Nope.
You ate it?
No, I didn't eat it. No, gross.
Oh, thank goodness.
We were after you, friend. I don't know. You went.
That was really gross, Kieran.
Yeah, I know. I didn't realize how gross it was until I was up on it, and then I just felt gross. But then you don't want to be rude to people, right? So, yeah. Let's go find better food. Not this.
Indeed, it is only after we have reached the lowest point in our lives that we can truly know happiness.
Wise as ever, Mador.
So true, Mother. So true.
Hey, wait, Karen. Maybe you know. Carcasses more flies or honey? Karuna was kind of vague.
I literally explained what it meant.
No. You went in. I know what a metaphor
Yeah,
is.
but you kept going on about how flies are kindness, and I don't generally want flies. Well, sometimes you do because you want to feed the flies to an animal who wants the flies, but generally in life you don't want flies, but you want people to be kind to you.
Okay, so it depends on what kind of flies you're looking for.
Oh, see, that's what Karuna said too. Darn it. Okay, I'll think on
I'm
this
just
later.
saying,
You want like corpse
I want
flies
corpses.
that eat corpses? Or do you want like flies that are, like fruit flies that like hover around fruit?
Karuna, that was the lesson. That's the lesson you were trying to teach me. Oh, I get it now. I didn't realize this was like a lesson. I thought flies were flies, but you're trying to show me that it matters what kind of flies you're looking for. You're very wise, friend. Thank you. And Charmilla looks extremely pleased with herself.
And as you all continue walking and talking, you eventually start reaching into, you notice, Karuna, that the water here seems to be a lot nicer as you go north and closer to the original rivers, the mountain stream source. It's still kind of muddy, but it seems to be clearing up. It looks a lot like the minute you left the shanty town, Chawl, and those areas, you notice that the water looks, you can actually kind of see close to the bottom. It doesn't look muddied or...
I'm that cat, by the way. Me trying to
I'm sorry.
explain every metaphor.
I'm sorry you hear my cat sort of like... yeah, so...
The panther's back!
Yes, the panther's...
Everyone get down!
It's that damn panther again.
Hold on to your undergarments.
I will protect us from the Panty Panther.
I knew that was gonna be a thing.
My least favorite film series.
Go and get him.
But while we're walking, like as we were leaving, can I have pulled Karuna back and just look at them and be like, I'm sorry.
Sometimes these things happen. It's okay. It'll be okay. At least not all of the water seems to be as contaminated or desecrated. It seems to be getting better as we get closer to our destination.
And also the water seems to be moving rather than stagnating. Like as if there's a flow running.
Living flow of life.
The fishes here are slightly bigger.
Oh.
And as you approach, you start to see close to the docks, nice evening restaurants, like sort of where, you know, those patio restaurants sort of a thing where there's ambience, there's a sit down, there's like all these courses and everything. It's starting to go into a very nice neighborhood. And you now start to hear the sounds of entertainment coming from what you see, this rather large palatial place that very clearly, I'm gonna see if I can actually get music to work.
I believe in you.
Yay! Oh wait, why you stop? Okay, work. Why you? Anyways, never mind.
Playing
Technical.
somewhere.
Yeah.
It's working.
Speaker wise, or
Yeah, but apparently I can't hear it. Anyways, we'll figure that out at some point. There's music. You hear the sound of entertainment as you approach the Gul Bahar. It is, you see in front of this palatial enclosure, two guards just standing watch at the entrance. And you see patrons, very well-to-do nobles. Ooh, do I have the tab muted? No, I don't. But let me check. No, it's at full.
I'm very, very faintly hearing something.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, same.
Like
my master volume is all the way up, and it is soft there.
Extremely
Maybe it's
soft.
playing through your computer instead of through.
It almost sounds like it might be coming through your microphone. Is there any chance of coming through like your speakers, maybe?
No, I
No.
muted my Roll20, so like it should be through the Roll20.
Oh, right.
It's playing on their end.
Yeah, because is it playing? Can y'all hear it in?
It's in the jukebox.
Well, I was just curious whether you could all hear it in the.
Stream?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm getting it.
In the stream or not. Anyways, I don't want to spend too much time taking you away from the game. It's something I will have to work on later.
No worries.
Uh,
Very good music.
Anyhow, as you enter, you see these two guards at the doorway, and you see these sort of noble people entering, and the guards sort of moving away to allow them to. Oh, you like
I'm
messing
the
up
panther behind the shadows.
And they sort of are using their big spears to sort of block the entrance and then move it to allow people to enter. And as you approach, they initially block it, but one of the guards was like, "Hey, I recognize you. You're Sharmilla, right?"
That's me. Yes. Hi. Do I know you?
Yeah, you totally had our back at the market this afternoon.
Oh yeah. Huh. You're welcome. Just you know.
And you're the bard that's auditioning or something? I mean, Faraz had mentioned someone with your description.
Yes, I thought I might try my hand, and of course, Faraz assured me that my friends here and I could partake of your entertainment as well.
Wonderful. Yes. Come in. But maybe you should wait until the main performance is over before speaking with Begum Jan. Just find a seat wherever the performance is about to start.
Very well. We wouldn't want to miss a second of it. So we like.
Sharmilla, Karuna is not aware of what entertainment they're walking into. I thought we were just going to like a feast.
And as you all enter, you see that there's a sort of almost like centered raised platform that is 360. And excuse me, you see there are patrons sitting down cross-legged or sort of lounging on various pillows and throws and these long cushions, you know, the ones that are like really like body pillows almost, but they're used to either as a backing for your back, or as almost like bench demarcations of sorts, except there's no bench. It's just like, you know, sitting places. And there's some spaces in the back at the moment as the performance is about to start, and most of the people who were here to see it have already seated down. You notice in the background there are many servers who are dressed in a bardly dressed immaculately and in beautiful clothes, and are passing around carafes of wine, as well as little nibbles for people to eat. And people are, they're not even looking at the servers. It's just like somehow they can see in their peripheral a platter coming, and without even taking their eyes from the center of the stage, they just grab something and just put it in their mouth. You also see little green parcels that are being passed around. That is, you know it as ban, and they're filled with things that freshen your mouth, like fennel seed, and betel nut, and some fruits, and sometimes they're filled with poppy seeds as well, to mellow people out. And as you all sit, these are being passed around freely. And there is a sudden lowering of curtains, and everybody quiet shushes, and from the ceiling a almost beautiful figure starts floating down on like ribbons before stopping. And as they stop, you hear the gentle of anklets on their feet. And then you sort of hear the music similar to what is playing on Roll20. I have no idea why it's not working on mine, but the players are hearing something quite nice.
Oh, it just stopped, so it was for me.
Yeah. And it's a performance you're familiar with, Madhur, having trained in Kathak and similar styles. And the story that's being told is of this lovelorn lover who is waiting for her beloved near the well as she draws water and tends to the cows. And she is but a lowly cowherd, and how they come and tease her and play with her, and it's very classy but also very, very much innuendo written. And it's a completely solo performance, and as the performance ends, everybody starts like there's like a polite clap and sort of like, you know, wah wah, and then patrons, all of them start moving away to the various divisions that are there in this very open space, and the divisions are marked by veils. So it's almost like there's like mini sections of rooms and private rooms that are being created by veils. As they all go, and you notice a lot of the servers start following into each one, and there's much laughter and entertainment to be had. And at this point, you notice as there's one very majestic old woman, half-elf, that is just lounging majestically like this, and is dressed in like the most extravagant and luxurious clothes, and is just sitting there watching everything. Just, you get the sense that this is the patroness, or the patron, the owner of the Gulbahar, Begum Jan. And you notice Faraz is just standing at a respectable distance away, but within easy reach of Begum Jan. And Faraz looks at all of you and sort of smiles and sort of like waves.
Ah, Faraz, my new friend. May we approach?
And Faraz quickly whispers something into Begum Jan's ears and is like, and Begum Jan sort of listens, nods, and sort of does this and motions you forward.
Kind of gesture, please, yes. Most esteemed Begum Jan, proprietress of the Gulbahar, may I humbly introduce myself. My name is Madur of Koldak, and I have come here with my trading partner Kiran, and our guide Yasmin, our bodyguard Sharmila, and our scholar Karuna. We are here as but humble merchants, and we are happy to partake of your hospitality and your graciousness. I was told by Faraz there is an opening, and I would like to offer my services, as I'm sure my companions would be able to provide assistance with anything else you might currently be struggling with. And I understand you also have a performer who was recently injured, who I should like to be able to have the chance to assist as well, if you are willing to have our talents.
She's listening to your spiel and is chewing. Her mouth is almost like this orangish blood red. And after you're done, she sort of makes like one motion, a little hand gesture, and Faraz brings this little spittoon, and she just spits into it, and this red thing pops out, which you realize is Pan, like Pan spit, and her teeth are also slightly red. And she looks at you, and she says, I see Faraz has not been very discreet about these manners. And Faraz looks just a little sheepish. However, yes, it is true that we've lost a dancer. I mean, she's not dead, but her performing career is as good as dead. So perhaps we can see what you can do. And yeah, maybe maybe, who knows? And she sort of looks you up and down, like, scrutinizing detail, like, for almost about a minute or two. And then she's like, please turn. And sort of looks you up and down your back profile and says, turn around again. Face me. And says, do you remember the performance we had tonight?
It is what I have seen. I have not performed in many years, but I'm familiar with the technique.
Okay. I will give out a few meters. Try to keep up with me.
Well, if I'm just Madur, is there any performance insurance? What may I ask the dancer? Was it work related?
Yes. May I propose something? May I be so bold?
And she just sort of gestures to let you continue.
I shall do as you ask. But if I impress, I should like to bid that we be permitted to speak with this dancer and to learn more about the further nature of the situation, secretive as it is.
Sure.
You know, Kairat.
And she's
This come up all the time. I love it so much.
And she sort of, first of all, she looks slightly displeased at being interrupted by Karuna, and now has this very small scowl forming as another interruption has begun. And she says, who?
He's a furbolg. He's got like kind of gray. We sort of look alike in the face, but he's got gray fur. And he's a little, well, last time I saw him, he was a little bit shorter than me, but that was a couple of years ago. And last I heard of him, he'd come here to be a courtesan. And so he might be here.
I see lots of people come in, people who think they have what it takes. But maybe there was a furbolg. We don't have one currently performing. If they were here, they clearly did not pass my muster.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Can we now please? You were here to audition, correct? I don't have.
Yes, and
I don't have all day or night.
1,000 apologies. I understand that one in a position such as you yourself has many irons in the fire to attend to. And then gets up and attempts to recreate.
Okay, so I will say, actually, how do you defy danger?
I think I am defying this danger with charisma,
Okay.
trying to be as convincing as possible. Not like necessarily recreating exactly what she's asked, but like, performance is about putting your own spin on things. It's about feeling the music and creating something inside people, right? So that's Madura's attempting to like be more evocative and showy rather than like, this is the thing, I've memorized it.
Okay.
So
All right, so that is mixed success.
yeah. I think briefly I will use the reroll.
Okay.
and see what happens. Because if we can take the higher result or
Yes.
not, right?
I will say that you can't fail, but you can try to see if you have a complete success.
Sure.
Yeah, in fact, I'll just jump in here because I know some of us are very new to the system, especially with
Yeah.
regards to things like defy danger. So something to consider when you get a 7 to 9 is that the text does specifically call for, on a 7 to 9, you stumble, hesitate, or flinch, the GM will offer you a worse outcome, hard bargain, or ugly choice. So that's
Yep.
something to consider when
Yep.
one of those rolls hits that level.
Yeah.
Survey says
So it's in
no
the
significant
same.
difference.
Yeah, it's in the band.
Yep.
So you do perform admirably. However, you get the sense that Begum John is probably not. You get the sense from her face that she's probably not going to hire you as a courtesan. However, she says, "You kept up admirably. Maybe if you try again another time with some ample training somewhere else. I know that Koldak has many colleges, and sometimes their training is lacking in certain things. However, I see that you all are, and this time she eyes up Sharmila and Sharmila specifically, and says, it seems like you have some competent muscle on your side, so perhaps you can help me in other ways.
I'm quite fantastically strong.
And she smiles at you and says, I can see that. If you're looking for somewhere to spend a little time or coin, I could be convinced to come out of retirement a little. And she looks at all of you and says, so my dancer was ambushed, was unable to see her attacker. All she could make out, though, was that the attackers were wearing guard uniforms of the Ungur Khana, so we suspect some sabotage. They claim that they have not done it, and that they themselves have been attacked, and in fact accusing us of attacking their dancers. But I wouldn't stoop to their level, so clearly they're just making things up, and I would like to get concrete evidence that they are the ones who are out to sabotage and besmirch our reputation. And it's fine with words. I mean, words are words after all. But to actually maim one of my dancers, that I cannot tolerate.
Do you know if they have a Furbolg?
I step in front of Yasmin.
I'm going to take a moment to accidentally bump into Yasmin, knocking her in to Sharmila, and hopefully knocking them all into what's the woman's name again? I can't.
Begum John.
Begum John. And I'm going to kind of try to cause a kerfluffle and steal from this woman because she annoying to me.
Okay.
Plan.
I believe you are using one of your moves.
Yeah, I'm using Tricks of the Trade.
All right. Make your roll.
Oh my god!
Yeah, many crickets.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is the universe helping me after my 3 nat ones in a row this weekend.
So please describe to me how you do this.
Yeah, so Kieran just kind of sidles behind Yasmin and just was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and bums into Yasmin, and I'm assuming Yasmin kind of goes flying into Sharmila.
Yeah.
And then Sharmila ends up on the lap of the woman. And while I'm assuming this is pretty distracting.
Oh,
I'm gonna
yeah.
just I'm just gonna go in and just like as I'm trying to pull people off, right? Just stick my hand in her pocket and grab something.
Yeah. So I will tell you what booty you get off of this. In the meanwhile, Sharmila gets some other booty.
I go ass over Tikal, I suppose, like directly into this.
And she just, first of all, she's like, what the, as this thing happens, and then she's like, oh my, if it weren't for you.
Wow. Oh, no, holy crap, I am so sorry. Oh, geez, 1,000 pardons. Oh my gosh. Oh, wow.
Oh,
yes,
no.
Oh, geez, are you okay, ma'am,
No.
miss?
No apologies needed. That, it brings me back to my youth a little.
Okay. Good. Good. That's good that you're not harmed. I'm really sorry.
Did people fall down on you a lot when you were young?
I have to go.
Okay, I need a moment.
What? Why? Why are you so good at this?
And she sort of looks at you, now thoroughly confused and completely taken out of this moment that was happening, and says, no? I mean, yes, I suppose, but you're weird.
I get that a lot.
And she sort of brushes herself off and says, and Faraz at this point is now almost like interposing at this point, not in a I am protecting you, but just a general sort of like, oh, the madam has been harmed. I probably should be a lot closer now. And
yeah. I've already moved over to see if Yasmin's okay. Like, are you okay? You fell?
Oh yeah, no, I'm fine. Are you? You fell right into her boobs.
It takes a lot more than that to hurt me, to be honest. So.
Oh yeah, no, they looked really comfortable.
They're fine. But I'm okay. Thank you.
Ouch, you're fine.
You're fine. They're breasts. What? I've got 2 of them of my own. I don't see what the big deal is. Sharmila does not say that out loud, to be clear.
Oh, I thought you did. I thought you said it out loud, and I was like, oh.
No, I said they're fine out loud. I'm explaining her thought process to the other.
Okay, so she Begum John says, sort of at this point almost slightly ignoring Yasmin at the moment to finish a conversation, and says, well, I suppose you would you look into this for me? Perhaps I might reconsider I might consider some payment for your services, or some perks, maybe a membership over here if you would like. As in, sort of as a patron.
A membership?
Yeah.
I would not want to speak for the rest of my companions, but I would be honored to receive any of your generosity in payment for service done to assist someone of your great reputation.
And she says, well, if there's anything else I can give you to help you on your path to figure out what is happening with my dancers, you only need to ask Faraz over here. And sort of looks at Faraz. And then gets up and retires for the evening.
What did I get? 'Cause I really want to know.
You get the equivalent of, again, I will have a better idea of economy in the next game, but you get a modest to generous pouch of coins. Like, probably the equivalent of half of your earnings at the market.
Good lord.
Yeah, this place is loaded. Yes, so Faraz sort of looks at you and says, yeah, whatever you need.
Might we speak with the dancer now? Are they available?
Yeah, I mean, they wouldn't be over here at the moment. They would be in their quarters. I can take you to them, see if they're awake.
I for one would not mind a brief discussion that we might get some enlightenment on the situation.
Yeah, and sort of takes you not through essentially this the main area, but sort of leads you out and towards the side doors and behind, where the access to all the quarters of all the workers and courtesans that are here, and says, just one moment, and sort of knocks on the door and says, let me pull up a name. I have names this time.
While you're looking for names, while that's happening, I kind of like lean over to Mador and just go, I thought your performance was really good. I liked it.
Thank you. It means the world to me to hear one such as yourself with such great skill at arms to
Mador,
it is high praise.
You don't have to praise me when I'm praising you, but you did a very good sing, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So you hear a gentle knock, and Faraz says, Nurgus, are you home? Are you awake? And you hear a very weak sort of and opens the door, checks in. You hear some sort of you hear talking, but you can't really make out what's being said behind the closed door. And then Faraz comes out and says, yeah, Nurgus will be okay talking to... I mean, it's a very small room, so maybe not more than 2 or 3 of you.
I think that Mador can handle it.
Yes, as a player, yeah, Mador's got this. Like,
yeah.
Unless, Mador wants help.
I'm happy to call someone in.
Yeah, take Karuna with you if you're going to take anybody, because the rest of us are not helpful.
Medical liaison.
The rest of us might be the opposite of helpful.
Yeah.
As a player, like, that's the right move. Sharmilla will go wherever you tell her to. So, like...
Yasmin's going to be kind of looking at the rest of the rooms and everything with a lot of interest.
You
just
do
like,
not...
Ooh.
There are names on the doors, but none of them say Kirat.
Oh no, she's not looking for that. She's just like, ooh, this is pretty.
Yeah. It's actually really, really nice accommodations, even if they are a little on the small side. You get the sense that a lot of the courtesans spend their time in the main hall. And this is really just their me-time personal quarters. This is not where they are patronized.
Which Yasmin mentioned. She's like, is this where they have sex?
No, that's they have sex elsewhere. This is like sort of different.
Okay.
I'm gonna case the joint.
What are we?
Okay, we will deal with that momentarily. So Madhur and I guess Karuna, or Karuna, are you waiting?
I will go with Madhur.
Okay.
Anything to avoid that conversation.
As you enter the room, it is very nicely furnished, if small. There is a single bed. There is a drawer, a chest of drawers, and a nice mirror, and sort of pots of makeup and various things that a performer needs. And a chest nearby with, you figure is probably like clothes and personal effects. In the bed, you see what looks to be a very weak and wasting half elf. And as you enter, you notice there are some bruises on her face that are healing. You think as a result of some mugging or being beaten up. And she just weakly stares at you and she says, pardon my manners. I don't have the strength or really, and sort of looks at her legs, or the ability to move up and sit up straight at the moment. Faraz said you wanted to ask me some questions about what happened that night?
Yes, we are concerned individuals who have been tasked by the madam to assist in this manner and find out who has done this to you. But first, if you do not mind, I understand that your body and your mind are unwell. May I play for you? I am a musician, and I would like to perhaps ease your suffering momentarily.
She nods and she says, yes. Yes, that would be nice. I only hear snippets of everything from here. And I miss hearing music.
Very well. If you will allow me to play you a song from as far as Koldak. So Mador unslings so on his, I think, like on his person, like either on his back or like in the backpack, he's got a set of bansuri, the long bamboo pipes, and he pulls one out, and he starts to play a lullaby. And I am going to use my arcane art, which is that when you weave a performance into a basic spell, choose an ally and an effect below. And the effect that I'm trying to get is to heal a d8 of damage. So as he's playing, he's like calling into like the ambient magic, and then trying to expel that through the music.
So you just do it, or you have to roll to see if you succeed.
I have to do a roll.
Okay.
And I got an 8. So my spell still works, but you draw unwanted attention, or your magic reverberates to other targets, affecting them as well. GM's choice.
It definitely works. However, yeah, I'm gonna say Faraz rushes in and says, "What are you doing?" I mean, you said you were going to talk to her, not do this whatever this is. And you notice that she puts a hand out and says like, no, Faraz, I'm feeling something. And you notice that her toes are starting to twitch a little.
Actually, if I can ask a question, what does it look like when Mador works his art? Like when you're not just playing, but actually like playing.
Right, it's like a spell, right?
Yeah. Like, does that look like? Do we see anything in that? Do we? Feel
I think so. The all magic comes from like the energy around us, right? It's fire, earth, water, and then radiant and necrotic occasionally. But like, so I think Mador, the way that he's learned to use that particular kind of musical magic is, like when you play, like the ambient energy kind of manifests as like a light. Or like a flicker of something, depending on what he's doing. So I think he's trying to like reignite the spark of life inside this person, as well as soothe the pain. So as he's playing the flute, like out of the flute, this kind of wisping water and flame, like a ribbon of flame, both kind of come out of the pipe and like twist and turn, and then wrap themselves around the person's body, and like suffuse into them. And like there's an ambient glow that's kind of this warm and cool back and forth as it starts stitching back the wounded flesh.
Yeah. And that certainly brings Faraz's attention and is basically running in ready to sort of like skewer you. And then when the twitching toes start happening, thinks otherwise of it and says, "Wait, you could do that?"
It is an ancient technique, one that was taught to me by my mentors in Koldak. It is taught to be used to help, never to harm. That is my gift, and I give it to you.
And Faraz sort of steps back but doesn't leave the room. And Nargis says, "Thank you. Thank you. Maybe I can still stay here. And maybe if there's anything I can help you with, please, you only have but to ask. You have literally saved my life." And she tries to get up, but still has difficulty getting up. But at this point, do you think you feel like at this point it's just a little rest? You've ignited the spark to heal, but time is still needed.
Right.
Don't push yourself. You need to resonate with this song and let it sit. You'll be okay. Just stay.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. And she's like there's tears streaming down her cheeks a little bit as she's in some pain because now she can feel everything, but she's also like she says, "I'm not sure I can help you much, but all I remember was I basically was one of my patrons likes me to make house calls, so I was on my way to their house when suddenly, as I made a turn, I was grabbed from behind and a bag was put over my head, and I don't remember much except waking up with my legs completely broken." But
nothing at all? Nothing else? You didn't see anyone or...
when I felt their hands, they were speaking about the Angur Khana or something, and I recognized the color of the sleeve of the guard's uniform, but that's I don't know who they are. I don't know them individually.
You should rest, but what you have given us is enough to begin an investigation. Thank you for what information you've been able to provide. We will do our best to see that justice is served.
Thank you. And with that, we're getting close to time, so we will pick this up in our next game next week. Before we end the stream, let's go around the table quickly and tell me who you are and where can we find you on the internet. And
can I interject very quickly?
Sure.
End of session. Do we have time for that, or are we gonna have to do that off stream? Because
oh yeah, we can quickly do end of session. Again, I'm not. There's a lot of things I'm not used to.
That's why I'm reminding you. Because
yes.
I suspected you did not remember.
Yeah. Okay, so I gotta pull that up. Does anybody know which page that's at?
You have the play sheets, just the basic handout play sheets thing, because it's on the second page.
It should be on there. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Ooh, there's a new sub. The Ding 1000. Thank you so much for the sub.
Yay! Stop, man!
And unfortunately, we are unable to use the little benefit that we would get, so I'm just gonna hang on. I'm just gonna give you 1 extra XP for that instead.
Ooh.
So you get 1 XP from the sub.
Thanks.
Everybody. Okay, I gotta find things.
You want me to just read it to you?
Yeah, I have
yes.
it up if you want me to just read it.
Yeah, we can just read it.
Oh no, found it. Okay. Wait, end of session. Here. Okay, found it. All right. When you reach the end of session, choose one of your bonds that you feel is resolved. Okay, so as a group, did we learn something new and important about the world?
I mean, we learned about the plague.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so that's 1 XP. And did we overcome a notable monster or enemy? I'm gonna say no, because...
No.
Unless you count dinner. No.
No. And did we loot a memorable treasure?
Arguably, Kieran did. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it memorable, or is it just memorable the way in which Kieran looted it? This is
That's
the question.
Because if it's just money, money's not very memorable. But if you looted a thing, that's more memorable.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna say that the experience was the how it got looted was memorable, but it wasn't necessarily a memorable treasure. So you
That's
all, from answering all those questions, you get 1 XP.
Sweet.
Yeah. So how's everybody doing? Is anybody hitting a level or close?
I got very close.
So was
Yeah.
that 2 XP total or just 1?
It is 2 XP total, including the sub.
Okay.
Yeah. So now we will quickly go around the table. Thank you for reminding me about that. We will go quickly around the table, and we will start with, I'll just start with the person left of me. Lauren, tell me who you are and where we can find you on the internets.
Hi, I am Lauren. You can find me on Twitter at Sithwitch. You can find all my professional stuff at my website, lwsalinas.com. And it has been a blast. I promise by next week I'll try to find a solution for the brightness behind me. Yeah, thank you all so much. This is great.
Awesome. And next, Karuna.
Yes, hi, I'm Jess. I go by Burst of Hope on Twitter. You can find me here today is a Tuesday for the next 4 sessions, and then in addition, every Thursday at Unmade Gaming on a Cypher System game called Campaign of Men of Letters, slightly horror, slightly Cthulhu. And then we have The Watch starting on Variant Roles on Monday. That's going to be an intense, lots of feels, less shenanigans. I don't know how I'm going to handle it, but I will. Other than that, just follow me on Twitter and you can figure out what's going on there. Thanks. I'm excited about this one.
Yay! And next, we have Simon, who plays Mother.
Hello, I'm Simon, and I played Madur. You can find me on Twitter at Lucha Libris. I run a Decopunk LARP in Massachusetts called Attaway, and you can learn all about that at attawaylarp.com. Sort of like Bioshock by way of Miss Fisher's Murder Mysteries. And I'm also an occasional actor on the Penumbra podcast, which is a very queer sci-fi and fantasy podcast. Please all go listen to that, and you will hear my voice in the near future on a future episode as a new character.
And next we have Fox, who plays Sharmilla.
Hey folks, I remain Fox Barrett at Fox_Barrett on Twitter, where you can find me still not tweeting much because I'm still recovering from the charity thing and I haven't been on Twitter. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'll be complaining about gay stuff there soon. As far as what I've been up to and what I'm going to be up to, hey, I've got a busy Sunday nights because at 8 Eastern time over on twitch.tv/devilslikegaming, I am part of their Shadowrun game with our co-founder Throck, who GMs that, and it is amazing and violent and weird, and it kind of just recently, it went from being like, let's be sneaky fun people to let's be a Coen Brothers movie, and everybody's kind of almost dying. It's great. immediately following that, at midnight EST, I am on Emissaries of Avithna with, I don't know, someone named Kate who might be gymming that. I think we're back on this week is when we finally are going to be kicking in. We're going to be coming back in on this week. I'll let her talk about Avithna more because it's rad as hell. Monday nights here on the channel, I'm the producer at 9:30 Eastern Time for Side Quests, our one-shot series. I believe our next one-shot coming up is going to be a D&D game based vaguely on the Hades and Persephone myth, but way gayer. So check out that. I need to get with those people and see what's going on there. And then finally, starting this Saturday and the subsequent Saturdays for the rest of the season at 7 Eastern Time, right here on the channel, I will be running a Scum and Villainy game called Stars Asunder. Mariam is going to be in that.
We're gonna lick everything.
No, you're not. Absolutely no fucking circumstances are you licking shit. I will kick you out of goddamn airlock if you lick anything. So, Stars Asunder, we're going to be having our session 0 this coming Saturday. So tune in for that if you want to learn about things like safety tools and setting expectations. It's going to be a whole wonderful mechanical thing. I'm very excited to be running it. Otherwise, I write stuff for the Patreon. When there's not a charity live stream going on, you can find me all over the Discord. And that is me.
And last but not least, our very own Kate.
Hi, I'm Kate. I go by me at Midair on the Twitters, where I spend some days on and some days off. My job is in social media, so it depends on the day. And then I am all over this channel, especially right now. I'm in this game, and then right after this game, I'm in the Rifts game, Blood, Dirt, and Chrome. That's at 5 p.m. my time, so that would be...
It's in an hour from now.
8.
Yeah.
It's at 8
p.m. Eastern Time. I know, I'm doing my best. I'm sorry. 8 p.m. Eastern Time. On Sundays, I DM the All-Fem and NB game Emissaries of Avithna. It's a lot of fun. It's all about thirst and hijinks. It's at midnight EST, so if you like late nights, please come check it out. We have a lot of fun there. I'm on the Whitish Project, and I'm also in the Discord, so you can find me there. I think that's what I do.
Yeah.
Oh, and Dragon Dark Days will be back, but it's not back yet, so...
Yeah.
Not until the 20th.
Only Dragon Dark Days, no big deal.
Well, isn't it called Blood and Shackles now?
It's Blood and Shackles. It's a new campaign that we're starting on the 20th. Pirates. It's going to be awesome.
Awesome. And I am Mariam. You can find me on Twitter at media_junkie. I am the creator of this campaign setting, Surzamin. I'm basically live here on the weekends and now on Tuesday afternoons as well. I am in Stars Asunder, where I will definitely be licking things.
Nope.
I am in Adventures
of... Don't push me.
I love you. And Adventures of Agni. I'm also in Adventures of Agni, which is right after at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and that is GM by the wonderful Angela, who, by the way, did the theme song that you heard at the break and at the start. And I believe she's still looking for commissions, so hit her up wherever you can see her on the interwebs, and see if she's taking commissions. And also, I am usually on 3V. So you might see me there either playing or GMing once we come back from our summer break. And I'm also a part of Emissaries of Avithna, and I'm the GM of I'm the GM and creator of the Musafirs podcast, which releases Mondays. And there's a lot of other things I'm doing, but you can find all of that at media_junkie. And with that, there will be, I think we can raid if there's an hour gap. So I'm actually going to raid the creator of Dungeon World, as they are currently live, Adam Cobell. So get all your raid stuff, and hopefully as a mod. Oh, I'm not a mod. Never mind. I'm going to very quickly switch over to account.
If you give me the channel name, I might be able to raid us.
It's Adam Cobell with A and K. Capitalized.
Apparently I don't have the permission to do that either. Hooray! We'll deal with this later. Don't even sweat it. We're just gonna move on.
I'm just gonna quickly do a switcheroo. While I'm doing this, if you want to quickly shout out what your favorite moment of today is. while I scramble to get this, or things you liked or not liked.
Literally everything that comes out of Yasmin's mouth. Holy crap.
I know, it's so good.
You've just stolen mine.
It's a
Mother's
table.
description of his bard spells.
Absolutely.
That was
Thank you.
so good. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, hundo percento.
I
The
love-
chicken debacle.
Yep. I love Karuna's like mystic wisdom.
Yes.
Just like the very like, oh yes, so my friends, we must all talk about this, and I just love it.
Okay, we're ready to raid. So, I love you all. We will see you all next week. And bye.
Bye.
Bye, folks.
And yay.